Gamers, today we got a little OOTD cheese guide. I promised you guys I'm going to make more cheese videos. This is the OOTD one, and I'm going to be teaching you how to do proxy racks, OOTD, men-at-arms. Proxy racks meaning you make a barracks closer to your opponent's base, and then you just make men-at-arms, you rally them, and you just butcher your opponent. So let's get into it. So, I'm going to show you a build order playing against the AI, then I'm going to show you a real game I played earlier. So, number one thing is you're going to send all the villagers onto the food. But, if you see deer immediately, like as you're running out of your base, if you find deer, just go on deer straight away. The reason for that is deer is a lot higher income, and you would rather get the outside food instead of taking your sheep right now. So it's a win-win situation. So whenever you see deer, you don't have to necessarily look for them. Like maybe you can go scout like this. You go from TC here, maybe around like this to see where the deer are potentially. But there should always be one deer pack somewhat close to your base like this on most maps. So once you do that, try to place the mill in the middle and just try to kill some deer around it and get survival techniques as well. The reason you get survival techniques is because you're going to be going on board later and hopefully even more deer. So you're going to get your worth throughout the game. So now we got 3 on gold. We're going to rally on food until the age up. The build is very, very simple. And the playstyle is very, very simple. You can also do this, which is just push some, the rest of the deer, just push it into your mill a little bit so that, you know, you don't have to run all the way out for them. It's a little bit better gathering speed. And now, when we age up, we're going to age up with 2 villagers, okay? So 2 with Meinwerk. And then we're going to leave 3 on gold for now, 5 on food, on deer. Or if you were on sheep, just leave 5 on sheep. And then we're going to be rallying onto the wood. And we're going to rally onto the wood till we have enough wood for our barracks and a little house after. So, around this time, so let's just say 3:15 or when your Meinwerk is like 20% done, 20-25% done, you're gonna take one of the gold villagers and you're gonna go and make a proxy barracks. Proxy barracks, by the way, if you don't know, I think it's a StarCraft 2 term. It basically means to hide a building, in this case proxy barracks, outside of your opponent's base. So, one advice I can give you is you need to be able to avoid the enemy scout. So how do you do this? Let's say I saw my enemy scout here, right? Going this direction, like this. He just passed my scout and he's going like this, right? So what I would do is I would send this villager there, right? So there's a very low chance that he scouts it. If you have no clue where his scout is, what you can do is I can drop off the sheep now, send the scout first straight through the middle, and if I don't see the scout, I can just go through the middle and proxy there. So you need to try and avoid his scout, because if he sees you building a barracks, then kind of the jig is up, right? And I'll show you that in the second game that I'm gonna be presenting here. So now we have 5 on wood, and only for the first 2 chopped trees, because like I said, we want to get a house, we want to get a barracks, and look at this timing. The moment my age up completes, I can queue up early men-at-arms, and we queue up iron undermesh as well. And then after you want golden upgrade as well, so they take less damage. And this villager, once it builds barracks, is going to go back on the gold, and you're going to leave 3 on wood. So this is the worker split, hold on, that we're working right now. And I'm going to put 5 on gold total, 3 on wood, the rest is food. Why am I putting 3 on wood? Well, you want to build houses, you know, you want to get some more upgrades, maybe you'll need mills on the berries, so 3 on wood is plenty. And at some point you might even want to go like stables, or you want to make a tower on gold or something like that, depending what you need. And the 4 or 5 on gold that you need are going to be for this upgrade, which is 100 gold. You're going to need wheelbarrow, which I'm getting right now. You can get horticulture later on, and obviously to produce men-at-arms. So, what is the idea behind the build? Well, the idea behind the build is for you to get the men-at-arms super early in the opponent's base, and you can just tank town center with the men-at-arms. Now, the idea is that you idle their economy. So listen up, this is very important. If you're idling their economy and they're not making units, you can just rally in. And as long as you're gathering food, they're gonna idle economy and you will get ahead on the villagers, especially if you kill a villager here and there. If they have units in their base, and you're running in and you're just losing them, then something probably went very wrong. But also, unless you're idling eco, don't just blindly run them in, okay? So what you do with the first few men-at-arms is go deny gold, go deny berries, whatever. And then when your iron undermesh completes, which is already done, you can just dive under town center, okay? And especially if the opponent doesn't have any units, you're gonna idle their economy so much that it's gonna be pretty worth. So even if you're losing men-at-arms, but this happens, you're in a good spot. So the build order is very, very simple. I even got the golden upgrade now, so my men-at-arm will take low amounts of damage. What you can also do is once they're very low HP like this, you can just run them out and, you know, put them to patrol on deer or something that he might be, just to not lose them for no reason. So you can look how tanky they are. Look at that. That's 10 villagers inside. Look how tanky it is. This is time mate speed. So they're very, very tanky. So let me show you what that looks like in a real game. And we actually had a game, shout out to Horrified. He played against me in the custom game. He is Diamond 3 Conqueror player. He played English, which English longbows obviously have more range, but they also have +1 damage. So you don't reduce it as much as you reduce it against other civs that have like normal archers. And if the opponent is playing English or French and making units immediately, then you know you're not gonna do as it's not gonna be as good, but still can be good. So right now, if you look at my scouting pattern, I went like this, and then I try to go downwards to see if there are deer. So I could have concluded, because the deer are not here, I could have concluded that the deer pack is either here or there, and I could have gone blindly. But I didn't, because I didn't wanna YOLO it. So the deer pack was here, but this game I just stayed on the sheep, so you can see what that looks like. So in this game, my barracks was a bit late, so build order wise, do everything I told you from the first game. Now you're just gonna see the execution, okay? That's the important part right now. So he went for council hall and he just made longbows. For a while, because he tried to prevent me from gathering resources. So you can see my barracks is late. I should have been making man-at-arm already, but it is what it is. So now, we're getting early man-at-arm. I got a wrong upgrade first as well. Again, don't pay attention to those things. I mean, I managed to get both in time. So now, if he decides to fight the man-at-arm, he does 6 damage with longbows, so he's only going to do 2 damage per hit. And I'm already diving. So why am I diving here immediately onto the town center? The reason I'm diving under the town center immediately is because I saw the longbows moved out, so he doesn't have any longbows here. And when you play against French or English, they're not going to keep their units in the main base, right? Unless they see your barracks. So I'm just going in, and look how much idle time this is, right? Look at this. Full food economy and full wood economy is now completely idle. So even though he will kill this man-at-arm, the opponent has almost spent the same amount of resources killing it as he is lost. Or sorry, spent the same amount of resources to kill it as I did to make it. The difference is my economy is growing and I'm getting more and more villagers, and he lost 2 villagers there, right? So another thing is the opponent will not have enough garrison space, so there's always going to be villagers you can hit. So again, I just go in again, he garrisons again, and he has to run with these because he can't keep garrisoning, there's no space. Now behind this, he went for the longbows, I made a tower, but he's outranging it, which is again an English only problem. Like if this was another civ, if he had a knight here or something, I could just garrison and the knight won't do anything, but because the longbows have extra range, they're being super annoying on the gold. So he's rushing blacksmith now, and this is the part where I mean, he's Conqueror, but a lot of lower league players will panic and not know what to do, and you're gonna cause idle time. They're gonna forget to put villagers back to work. They're gonna forget to queue villagers and so on and so forth. So they're not gonna play, you know, optimally. So he is now mining gold to get +1 range attack, right? And he gets it, but the man-at-arms are back. Again, more idle time, and literally 26 workers of his are just running or are idle. Now, the great part about this build is what you should do is never go on early farms, because you should just go out on the map and get resources and potentially just build towers if you need to. Now, he saw this, so in a moment he's going to send Longbows down there. And if the opponent... Look at this, more idle time. Another villager goes down. So if he goes here, you have two options. You can either send... I could have sent one man-at-arm back to chase these guys. So, because I already did, like, a lot of damage. A lot of damage in idle time, and I killed 3 workers. So it wouldn't be wrong if I just sent one man-at-arms to clean these up, or at least force him to micro. Or what you can do is you can add a couple of more villagers on wood and make stables. And that, you know, Horseman is going to kill these very, very easily. So he's trying to get here. I'm building a tower. I sent the man-at-arm back. 2 men-at-arms, I sent them back. And now he's trying to harass. I just move away a little bit. And now he has to micro. So he does some cute micro here. And he trades more efficiently than I did with my men-at-arms. Or maybe not in the end. But it forces him to micro a lot. And meanwhile, I'm just rallying men-at-arms into space. So he has to not only pay attention here, but he has to pay attention here and micro. And I'm just aim moving. I'm just chilling. So behind this, I went Horsemen, and obviously once the Horseman comes out, he will lose all the Longbows. He kills 1 villager here, and now the Horseman can just pick everything off. So you can see, again, so much idle time. He is pretty much out of food. Oh, he went on deer here. Okay, I didn't even know this. So he went on the deer all the way up there. And now the game is a pretty stat state, right? English at this point has some farms, or, you know, they have a better setup, they have more eco upgrades, but you can see it's just been a very, very unfortunate game for him. Now, what can you do from here? You can do 2 things from here. You can just keep massing units and all in. Now, if I did find this, I didn't know he went there, but if I did find it, I would just go and kill all the villagers and the game would end. But, yeah, you can just keep making men-at-arms, and now with Horsemen, look, I can dive, and I can put men-at-arms on the Spearmen, and have Horsemen kill everything else, right? So I can continue pushing, or if you look at my economy, I can also just age up, because I am in no danger right now compared to him. Like, I don't need to worry about that I'm gonna die or something. He's losing a lot of stuff still. So I can just go age up and get Cathedral for some relics. I took his boar because, again, he doesn't have a scout, so it's like this is his vision, and the last thing he's thinking about is to check the boar or deer on the map, right? So, yeah, and if you look, all his villagers are like busted up in 1 shot from dying. So he actually gets enough resources to age up because he was on deer and I didn't know, but I aged up too. And the moment I age up, what do? I just produce a knight, produce more men-at-arms, and I'm going to upgrade my men-at-arms and just go again. Because, why not? I'm getting +2 ranged armor. Cathedral is going to get the relics. Now, you can also go burger if you want in this case, but I think if you already put pressure, Cathedral kind of extends your lead. But if you're under pressure, you can go burger to alleviate some of that. So from here on out, same thing. Look at my resources, by the way. 29 on food. I'm on deer. My economy feels really good. And I'm producing knight plus men-at-arm plus prelate at the same time. So right here, I could also just go Imperial. Oh my god, he went on this deer too. I could just go Imperial here if I wanted to. And you can see what I did instead is I made a couple of units to put some pressure. These are now Castle men-at-arms. We got Gilded Knight, and behind this, I also went Imperial. So after all of that, I still achieved 17-minute Imperial, and I'm gonna get all the relics. and he's lost 14 villagers. So you can see I'm not even microing these. These are just aim moves. So if you're, you know, Pepega at micro, you don't want to micro necessarily. Well, this build, you don't got to do much. And he taps out. Yeah, that's the build. That's how you cheese with OOTD. Now, this build is not as used at the top level. The reason for that is obviously high level players will try their best to scout, and it's going to be very hard to proxy against them. But even if you do, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna micro their units, they're gonna micro their villagers, and you're not gonna be losing as many villagers against this. Now, what are some ways you can counter this? I mean, number one, obviously finding the proxy barracks is very good, because then you're aware of what's going to happen. Depending on which civ you are, like if you're playing French, if you just make knights and just fight with men-at-arms, you should do well. If you have longbows, if you just kite around TC, you will do well. So you basically need to out-micro the first few men-at-arms, and once you have a lot more units that you can play with against men-at-arms, you should do a lot better. But obviously the OOTD can then choose to age up or something, or just keep transitioning into other units, whether it's archers or horsemen. Horsemen's probably always going to be better. Then it kind of becomes a game of micro, and the opponent will usually run out of food first because they're sitting in their base scared. So you have all the map control. Now, regarding which civs is this good against, I mean, English is one of the harder civs to pull this against. I would probably say like China or Jushi. It's not impossible, but it's just harder to pull against because they have village building that they can garrison, but they also have TC that shoots hand cannon things, which, you know, the men-at-arms doesn't reduce as much damage from that as they do from arrow TC, or TPS, I guess. Other civs like French or JD. JD probably is going to be pretty rough because they have like the hero and they're going to have an early knight. But other than that, I mean, you can probably do it against most civs, see how it works. And just because you have a proxy barracks doesn't have to mean like you have to kill them or die trying. You can always like make a few men-at-arms, maybe transition into something else, and so on and so forth. So that's it. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Get out there and cheese some people. If you're watching on Twitch, let's keep going.